Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews Primetime. I am Cairo, and we are live on Kool FM and News Radio 93.1, where we share the latest news headlines that care for you. Let's begin with the headlines for this evening. To extend unhampered service to its members, the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation has lifted its 45-day benefit limit rule. In a statement on Thursday, PhilHealth Acting President and Chief Executive Officer Edwin Mercado said the 45-day benefit limit is an outdated cost containment strategy. The 45-day benefit limit previously allowed PhilHealth members a maximum of 45 days of hospital confinement per calendar year. The qualified dependents shared a separate 45-day confinement limit annually, the state insurer added. Mercado said, "We understand why this was implemented before, but given the changes in our payment mechanism, it is time to reform this. We cannot always predict or schedule our medical needs." Many services also require more than 45 days of coverage, the PhilHealth chief further explained. PhilHealth has previously expanded its hemodialysis package, increasing coverage from 90 to 156 sessions per year. With the removal of the 45-day benefit limit, a more inclusive approach will now extend to other medical services, the state insurer emphasized. Mercado expressed, "We want Filipinos with severe illnesses, chronic conditions, or those needing extended hospitalization to receive healthcare services without the fear of falling into debt." To ensure the responsible implementation of this policy, PhilHealth said it will closely monitor patient admissions, readmissions, and benefit utilization exceeding 45 days. The agency also underscored that unveiling of benefits should be based on proper medical indication, necessity, and alignment with the patient's treatment plan. Mercado said, "Our goal is for every PhilHealth supported service to generally provide peace of mind to members. Our hospitals are already doing this. I, too, as a former hospital administrator, focus on monitoring outcomes. However, we now aim for PhilHealth to gradually transition to value-based financing," he concluded. Re-electionist Senator Francis Tolentino on Thursday lauded the Valenzuela City local government supporting the Philippine National Police in its initiatives to make the city safer. Tolentino joined the turnover ceremony for 25 brand new patrol cars and 4 motorcycles from the local government to the Venezuela police force on Thursday morning. The transfer of resources from the LGU to the PNP is a testament to the collaboration between the local and national government to achieve peace and order, the senator said in a speech during the ceremonies led by Mayor Wes Gajillian and City Hall and police officials. Tolentino then urged the police officers take care of the resources, equipment, and the trust given to you by Major Gajillian and the people of Venezuela. He also emphasized the importance of making the community safe for residents and businesses to encourage more investments and boost the domestic economy. Giving emphasis to peace and order is a symbol of a responsible and forward-looking global government, he concluded. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has vetoed the bill declaring Pampanga as the culinary capital of the Philippines to avoid discrimination among other provinces, Palace Press Officer Clara Castro said on Thursday. At the past briefing, Castro confirmed the rejection of Senate Bill No. 2797 or House Bill No. 10634, titled "An Act declaring the province of Pampanga as the culinary capital of the Philippines." She said, "The bill is good, but it will create discrimination. Each of our regions has its own culture, specialties," Castro added. National Security Advisor Eduardo Ano on Thursday said he had developed a close friendship with former President Rodrigo Duterte, but emphasized that his loyalty lies with the country, not to any person. Ano made this statement during the Senate investigation into the serving of the International Criminal Court arrest warrant against Duterte, clarifying that it is not part of his mandate as National Security Council Chief. He said, "I have worked closely with former President Duterte for so many years to the most serious crisis the country faced, and what developed and nurtured was a personal friendship," he said. He trusted and respected me in the same way I trusted and respected him even after our terms ended in 2022. However, Ano said my loyalty is always to the country, to the Constitution, and not to any person. I never play politics. I do not have a political agenda, nor do I have or will I ever have political ambitions, he pointed out. Ano served as the military chief and later as Interior Secretary under the Duterte administration. As a former member of the cabinet of the Duterte administration, it is also very hard for me to see the former president arrested, he said. Ano also denied that he was part of the grand conspiracy that hatched the plan of Duterte's arrest, nor that there is a core group planning such. Ano said, may I also state for the record that I am not aware of any core group, nor am I a member of such a group that allegedly planned and prepared for the arrest of former President Duterte. It is utterly unacceptable and unfair that my name is being dragged into an alleged grand conspiracy, he said. I fully deny any allegations of a grand conspiracy. In fact, it was only on Tuesday morning, March 11, 2025, that I learned that there was already an Interpol red notice and that the ICC warrant of arrest will be served, Ano stressed. In fact, the events on March 11 is spontaneous. Duterte was arrested at Ninoy Aquino International Airport on Tuesday, March 11, and detained at Villamor Air Base later that day. By March 12, he had arrived in The Hague, where he remains in custody. The former president had his pre-trial hearing on March 14, while his confirmation of charges is scheduled for September 23. He may appeal for an interim release before that date. The war against illegal drugs that took place during Duterte's presidential term claimed at least 6,000 lives according to official government data. Human rights watchdogs and the International Criminal Court prosecutor estimated the death toll to be between 12,000 and 30,000 from 2016 to 2019. They said several of these incidents were extrajudicial killings. Vice President Sara Duterte made a virtual appearance before the Senate panel on Foreign Affairs on Thursday, decrying the alleged warrantless arrest of her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte. During the hearing on the ex-President Duterte's arrest, the Vice President claimed that her father was forcibly taken by the Philippine National Police upon his arrival in Manila from Hong Kong. She said all this happened because of a warrant allegedly issued by the International Criminal Court. This was patently an illegal arrest which constitutes extraordinary detention. A Filipino citizen, a former president, was taken into custody without a valid warrant issued by the Philippine court, without due process and without any legal basis under our laws, she said. For an arrest to be lawful, it must be carried out pursuant to a warrant issued by a Filipino judge of a Philippine court. Nasaan po ang warrant of arrest na ini-issue ng hukuman ng Pilipinas? Wala, she added. The Vice President argued that without a valid warrant from a Philippine court, what transpired to her father was a warrantless arrest. According to her, even by ICC standards, her father should have been brought before a Philippine judge to determine the validity of arrest before he was handed over to a foreign court. She asked, what happened on March 11, 2025 is not just about one man. It is about all of us. It's about the country. If a foreign president can be taken without due process, what stops them from doing the same to any Filipino? We have now lost a former president. I pray that we do not lose the country next, she added. And Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla made this response on Thursday when quizzed by Senator Amy Marcos during the Upper Chamber Committee on Foreign Affairs hearing about the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. This is what he said. Our views evolve at times. Although the Philippines had rejoined from the ICC, Remulla insisted that the International Tribunal still had jurisdiction over individuals, not countries. But Senator Marcos said President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s previous pronouncements implied that the ICC had no jurisdiction over individuals as well. Senator Marcos cited the chief executive's remarks on February 18, 2023, which stated, I do not see what its jurisdiction is. I feel that we have in our police and our judiciary a good system. We do not need assistance from any outside entity. In this statement, the President clearly means jurisdiction over individuals. It is very, very clear. There is no area for quibbling, and if you say there is jurisdiction over individuals, I don't believe that you are in agreement with your President. As a matter of fact, the ICC does not try countries after all, Senator Marcos said. In response, Remulla said, our views evolve during at times, and I don't know if he still has the same views up to today, because we are talking about a clip which was done 1.5 years ago. Our minds can change, ma'am. Of course, we can change our mind, Mr. Secretary. So you are saying that the president changed his mind? Marcos asked. The DOJ chief responded, "Well, I cannot speak for him, madam. I cannot speak for him. Your conclusions are really your own and I cannot adopt your conclusions here." It is now 10:41 p.m. as we will return with more news highlights on koolNews Primetime after the break. back to koolNews Primetime. Let's continue with the headlines. Since when did the Philippines become a province of The Hague? Senator Amy Marcos had to say this in her opening speech on Thursday as she led the upper prop on the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Marcos, who aligns herself with the Dutertes, lamented that he was made to answer to a foreign court. She said during a Senate Committee on Foreign Relations hearing, "Here we are watching as a fellow Filipino, a leader, a father, and a grandfather, a man who served this country, is taken not by his own people but by outsiders who claim to have the right to judge him." The war against illegal drugs that took place during Duterte's presidential term claimed at least 6,000 lives according to official government data. Human rights watchdogs and the International Criminal Court prosecutor estimated the death toll to be between 12,000 and 30,000 from 2016 to 2019. They said several of these incidents were extrajudicial killings. Marcos said that the law should prevail, but whose law? Ours or theirs? She stressed that Filipinos are not slaves to foreigners and that the country should not surrender its citizens to the jurisdiction of foreigners. Duterte was arrested at Ninoy Aquino International Airport on Tuesday, March 11, and detained at Villamor Air Base the same day. He has since arrived in The Hague, where he is currently being held. Marcos said, "If they can march in our house and take one of our own, what's stopping them from doing it again and again? To you, to me, to any of us? This is bigger than Duterte," Marcos said. "This is about our dignity as Filipinos." Above 95% of wrongful deaths during former President Rodrigo Duterte's drug war had no police records, Justice Secretary Justice Crispin Remulla said on Thursday. Remulla made the revelation during the Senate hearing investigating the arrest of Duterte due to his alleged crimes against humanity case before the International Criminal Court. When we look at the records of the wrongful death situations, there were really no police reports. Maybe 95% had no police reports, Remulla told senators during the hearing. Senator Alan Peter Catiano was surprised. Catiano said, "That's the first time I have heard that." Nevertheless, Catiano believes that our justice system is working. Remulla said it is not working, but stressed that there was a failure of the justice system during that time. What the cases we are speaking about were filed by the families in the ICC because they can't get justice in the country, he pointed out. The Duterte administration's drug war claimed at least 6,000 lives according to official government data. But human rights watchdogs and the ICC prosecutor estimated the death toll to be between 12,000 and 30,000 from 2016 to 2019, as they noted that many of these incidents were extrajudicial killings. I think that's one thing that nobody wants to acknowledge is that there is a failure of justice system for a long time, and they have to file the cases in the ICC to get any attention at all from anybody who cares, Remulla said. And President Ferdinand Bongbong R. Marcos Jr. has appointed digital technocrat Henry R. Joel Aguda as the new Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. He replaced Ivan Uy, who resigned from the post early this month. Undersecretary for Special Concerns Paul Mercado then stepped in as the agency's officer in charge while waiting for a new chief to be named. Aguda resigned as President and Chief Executive of Union Digital Bank in August 2024. He also previously served as the Digital Infrastructure Lead at the Private Sector Advisory Council, created by Marcos to assist his administration in boosting innovative synergies between the private and public sectors. Aguda has experience across the banking, technology, and telecommunications industries. Before joining Union Digital Bank, he was board chairman of the City Savings Bank and UPX Philippines. He also assumed the roles of Director of Insular Healthcare, Bagnet, Metaverse Ventures and Platforms, and Philippine Clearinghouse Corp, Senior Executive Vice President, among other positions, at Union Bank of the Philippines, and Chief Technology Officer at Amihan Global Strategies, Globe Telecom, Government Service Insurance System, and Digital. The new DICT chief was in charge of software development services at WeServe Systems International, led Nextel's information operations, was Assistant Vice President at Bayantel Communication Holdings, and managed the corporate data network for the Manila Electric Company. Aguda earned a degree in mathematics from the University of the Philippines Diliman in 1989 and a Juris Doctor from UP Law in 2008, graduating cum laude in both. He was also a participant in the Strategic Alliance Program at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania and is taking a master's degree in applied business economics at the University of Asia and the Pacific. And now let's get into the showbiz. The music of Beanie, consisting of Joanna, Aya, Colette, Maloy, Gwen, Stacy, Mika, and Sheena, continues to captivate listeners as the P-pop powerhouse earned 1 billion cumulative streams on Spotify. The female octet's newest milestone was announced on their social media platforms on Thursday, March 20, with the group thanking their fans or Blooms for the support. The post read, 1 billion all-time streams on Spotify. A dream turned reality, and it's all thanks to you. Your love has filled every step of this journey. While Beanie has long been on the radar of casual fans since the release of their 2021 single Na Na Na, it was Pon Tropical that propelled the 8-member girl group into superstardom 2 years later. The year 2024 was a rewarding year for Beanie as they bagged multiple awards, including the International Breakthrough Artist and International Video of the Year at Brussels Break Doodle Awards, Best Asia Act at the MTV Europe Music Awards, Voices of Asia Award at the Billboard Korea K-Power 100 with SB19, and the Top Local Artist of 2024 by Philippine Recorded Music Rights and International Federation of the Phonographic Industry backed the official Philippines chart, to name a few. They were also the first P-pop group to perform at K-Con LA. The 8-member group is set to visit Dubai, London, Canada, and the US for their Beanieverse World Tour 2025, which kicked off at the Philippine Arena last February. Beanie recently dropped their second EP, Beanieverse, which contains the track Blink Twice, Zero Pressure, Secrets featuring EAJ, Out of My Head, Cherry on Top, and Cherry on Top Beanie Mo Remix featuring Agnen Mo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 10:59 p.m. and that is it for koolNews Primetime tonight. We will return with more news headlines later with koolNews. We will return with more news headlines tomorrow with koolNews at noon, koolNews at 6, and the late night koolNews Primetime the next day at midnight. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback to our email at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I am Cairo, and this has been koolNews Primetime. Coming up next, Totoy na Lamang with DJ Uncle Pepito, aka Steven Lewantoso. This is your station, this is home. Good night.